been so long since you've been here.
Thank you so much. I'm so glad to say welcome. This is Unity Train on your radio. Unity Train on Unity 93.3 FM and Unity TV. Today happens to be Thursday, the 9th day in the month of May, the year 2024. And it promises to be very lovely today in the studio because you are tuned to this very, very dialed. And now we start, and we never stop until it is 9:30 a.m. And you know, this program is actually yours and not mine. It is not for any of my guests who comes to the studio. It's your program. You are the reason that we come here every weekday, Mondays to Fridays, just to make sure that the platform is there for you to participate in governance and keep making demands and make your contributions. Thank you so much. Gigi Adamu remains my name, your regular anchor on this wonderful programs. All right. I would love to say this even before I get to introduce my guest in the studio at the moment. The program comes your way 7:30 to 7:45 a.m. The preparatory segment, which we call it City Reports, every morning. And at 8, we begin the full-fledged program. 30 minutes, the first 30 minutes, review. The second 30 minutes, we call it transit. And the last 30 minutes is where you get to join the conversation fully. And we hear from you. All right, it remains today. We're streaming live on Facebook, so you can connect with us already. Like, share, drop your comments. I get to read them later on at Unity Radio FM/TV Jaws. If you would love to send in some SMS or text messages, do that at 0808-478-9999. Once again, I apologize. Yesterday I was not able to read your comments on Facebook, but today, God's willing, I will do that. If you're passing through any health challenge, I pray God remember you today for healings and not for judgment. And thank you for being there. In the studio this morning to my right is Barrister Paul Zaruma. And he's coming your way with nothing less than a big good morning to our listener and our viewer. Barrister.
Good morning, listeners. Good afternoon. Good evening, listeners and viewers. Depending on where you are receiving us from. It's nice being here and hoping we have a pleasurable discussion as you keep glued to this program. Thank you very much.
All right, thank you so much. Praise increase, Bamayi. I pray God you are doing great this morning. And so, okay, security is your business. Let peace be your every moment companion. Keep your environment clean. Ensure environmental hygiene. Do not stigmatize people living with disabilities. When you see something, do not say something. In fact, say the thing. All right, again and again, is Adamu remains my name. And in the studio to my left is Professor Paveno H. Bamayi. He's coming your way with a big good morning. Stay tuned.
Well, a big good morning to you, viewers and listeners. You might be in other parts of the world that is not morning. So good afternoon, good evening. Good morning, Kulbi and Barrister Zaruma. It's wonderful to be here this beautiful day. It's a beautiful Thursday, and there is a lot in store. So we are glad that you're joining this broadcast, viewers and listeners around the world. Please invite your neighbors, your friends, colleagues, go on social media, tell somebody we're live on air, let them be part of this wonderful, fantastic broadcast this beautiful morning. Let me quickly remind you that 2024 is fast approaching the middle. It's already next month, and before you know it, it will get to the end. How far so far have you gone with your goals, your objectives, your dreams, your visions? That thing you said you were going to do in 2024, how far have you gone? The obstacles you are encountering notwithstanding, make sure that your goals are SMART. SMART means specific, measurable, achievable, relevant, and time-bound. And you know, for you to be successful, you must be a man and a woman of vision of passion, and of action. I know things are challenging in the country, but that doesn't define you. It doesn't matter the economy of the jungle, how difficult life is in the jungle. The lion will always eat flesh. The lion will get prey. The lion will not start eating grass. He will not become a cow because there is drought in the jungle. So, aspire to acquire what you require in life. In case you do not acquire, don't retire. Keep refiring, keep refiring, keep refiring. And while you're doing that, always remember to be the change that you want to be in the world. And let that change begin from your family, from your home.
All right, thank you so much, Prof. and Barrister, for coming to the studio this morning. Listener and viewer, do the best you can to keep developing yourself, because in the nearest possible future, there is going to be an opportunity for you to do one thing or the other. The worst you can do to yourself is to have an opportunity you really cannot deliver. Keep developing yourself. All right, for In a Glance this morning, I commend the good works of the Executive Governor of Plateau State, Barrister Caleb Manasseh Mutfwang, and his wonderful team. The metro buses and the commitments of the security agencies in enforcing the law with wisdom despite the challenges faced. Okay. This is from Honorable Felix Aponko JP from the Igbo community here in Jos, Plateau State, Nigeria. Okay, his contribution this morning is about commending the efforts of Plateau State government for the good things he's doing, and also congratulating him for, being recognized and given award as the best governor. JP, thank you so much, Felix, Honorable Felix, for sending your piece even this morning. Let's begin very quickly. Gentlemen in the studio, actually, let's begin as always from stories at home. The issue of having traders in some part of the state, giving them a place where they could continue with their trading activities, has proven to be one difficult thing. Yesterday, it was a clash, a bit of a clash somehow, to describe it that way, between some traders and the law enforcement agencies. And so, but we thank God that it has been wound down. And so, please, we don't want to have a situation where, again, we'll be running helter-skelter, having the city thrown into confusion just because the government has chosen to give us, to bring in a policy that is for our good. So if traders have issues to press on, you can still do the needful, and then you find the possible legal means of, most appropriate means of lending your voice to whatever difficulties that you are facing as regards government policy being implemented. So please, let's make sure that we do what it takes to live in peace. Thank you so much. That is it. Except if you have anything just to say.
It's unfortunate when we have citizens on the plateau who are not cooperating with the government and law enforcement agents. Not that the law enforcement agents are doing anything bad or illegal, but they're trying to enforce law and order. And it's unfortunate that some miscreants stoned security agencies. They stoned law enforcement agents. They picked stones and objects and threw at them and stoned them. And we must commend these law enforcement agents for the maximum restraint that they exercised, the tolerance, the self-control. Because in some other places they could have opened fire on these miscreants, and they could have killed them. And then maybe we'll be having an uproar in Jos, and crisis left, right, and center, because there are always opportunists that seize every opportunity to cause mayhem and crisis. What you are doing is wrong, and law enforcement agents are coming to correct you, to bring law and order, and you don't like it. Do you want Terminus to be chaotic? Do you want terminals to look like a war zone, like a refugee camp? Do you want the terminals and environs to just look like, no man's land, everybody, a complete state of anarchy and pandemonium and confusion, and with everybody doing whatever he feels like doing? Is that what we want? As people who are supposed to be the good citizens of Plateau. Left to me, these miscreants should be arrested. They should be dealt with. Because what they're doing is provocative. Imagine that you're carrying a weapon and some civilian that doesn't even have a stick picks a stone and other objects and stone you and throw at your vehicle and throw at yourself. To get you wounded, to harm you. And it is in your power. It is in your power to open fire on them. But you exercise restraint. That was what happened.
Yes.
And we commend those law enforcement agents. We want to appeal to those miscreants. Please obey the government, obey the law enforcement agents, obey what is good for the society. You have no business, blocking the roads there. You have no business selling things by the roadside. You have no business carrying out any business, along that road in terminals. You have no business chasing away law enforcement agents. Please, it is high time you leave that place. Ensure that you are a law-abiding citizen. Otherwise, when the long arm of the law cuts up with you, you'll be there crying and saying you are being persecuted, or they hate you, or they're harassing you and whatever. Whereas you're the one that started it. You're the one doing the wrong thing. So we want to encourage the law enforcement agents that they should not stop doing their work because of these miscreants. Let them go out there, enforce law and order, so that we don't have a state of anarchy on the plateau.
All right, thank you. Remember a few years ago when people were set to leave terminals and then relocate to satellite markets. I know a lot of people rejected that, but people like Turn by Turn, after taking bold step, putting up of plaza, Turn by Turn plaza there, somehow right now it's becoming like the terminus of this other side of the town, because people coming from the Udigwe chiefdom, the Lukuba chiefdom, they all end up at Turn by Turn plaza buying things. Imagine, yes, of course, moving there was not too comfortable at the start. But at the moment, I'm sure Turn by Turn Plaza is enjoying it. And so let's have vision. Right now, you're being thrown away. Okay, given a place you don't seem to like, I'm sure just look out for other opportunities, which is not necessarily where you stay from carrying the law or just, refusing to do the needful. So please stay away from that.
Like Albert Einstein said, in the middle of difficulty lies opportunity. In the middle of challenges, in the middle of things that you don't like, that you feel hindrances, lies opportunity. You just need to open your eyes. You will see that opportunity that has just been provided for you. Instead of resisting change. If you keep resisting change, you will be charged.
Okay, CAC registration. Police to go after illegal POS operators. Nigeria airstrike. Daughter charged with 2.7 billion naira fraud. Police probe e-money over 1.2 billion naira discreet with Lagos firm. Another one says the federal government plans a fresh audit of 2.7 trillion naira subsidy debt. And here, this one is a sad one. Bandits demands 500 million naira for 30 Zamfara hostages. Over to you, Paul.
Well, let's begin from that last one. Bandits are still making demands again and again. 500 million for 30 Zamfara indigents. And you know where the bandits attacked? The hometown of the Minister of Defense, Bello Matawali, Maradun, local government area of Zamfara State. where the Minister of Defense comes from, that's where the bandits chose to attack and to take hostages, to spit on the face of the Minister of Defense, spit on the face of the government, spit on the face of security agencies, that we don't care where you come from, we don't care, we want to show the whole world that your own domain where you come from is not secured, and that we can attack anywhere we want, any day we want, anyhow we want, in any way we want, and at our own terms. That is the message that the bandits are sending. Unfortunately, the government seems to be marketing these bandits. Unfortunately, the government seems to be helpless. Unfortunately, our security forces still don't seem to have new tactics and new strategies, to overcome these bandits. And that is why we see these bandits almost every day. As we're talking about the Zamfara attacks, they're attacking in Benue, they're attacking in different parts of the country, north, west, south, everywhere. You go to the south, you go to the east, the west, the north, everywhere. They're just attacking in all the 6 geopolitical zones. And we've said this again and again, that look, you said people should not be paying ransom to bandits, ransom to terrorists, ransom to kidnappers. But what have you put in place to secure the communities? What have you put in place to secure, the villagers, the people all across the country? Look at this now. The bandits are demanding 500 million. 500 million. The villagers said they cannot raise that amount of money. They don't even have it. Even if you are going to sell them, if you get anybody to buy them, they will not be able to raise the 500 million demanded by the bandits. And these are the same bandits that sacked a former governor from his farmland in Kaduna State. Bafarawa has 10,000 hectares of land, arable land, to farm rice and other crops. But he was sacked from that farm by bandits. He has not been able to farm on that land, I think, since 2022 because of these bandits. These same bandits are the ones kidnapping people all over. And now they have come to the home state of the Minister of Defense and to his own local government, among his own people. They have picked people and they're saying pay 500 million naira. Otherwise, we will not release the people that we've kidnapped. I think we've said this again and again, and we need to say it, that look, our security forces need to up their game. Instead of sitting down and waiting for bandits to attack, let's go out. Let's look for the bandits. Let's attack them. Let's give them a bloody nose. Let's chase them to the ends of the earth. My problem with our security forces is when they repel these bandits, these terrorists, they return back. When they say, oh, they just attack this place now, they will just come and, shoot, and fight, and then that's all they relax. Follow the bandits to their hideouts. Follow them to the pits, to the cliffs, to the mountain tops, to the forests. Wherever they have built their camps, follow them there. Don't return back until you have neutralized all of them.
Prof, before Barrister will give us some updates in terms of politics, maybe we'll just conclude on this. Now, look at it that the security forces are men who act best on command. And of course, this command, in most cases, comes from somewhere far from where some of these things are happening. So how do we really deal with this issue of command coming from somewhere other than at the forefront where these things are happening?
You see, the whole situation, it's, let's say, complicated and funny. Because the president is the commander-in-chief of the armed forces of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. Has he not given an order? Has he not said, go after the terrorists? Has he not said, go after them, get them? Even when Muhammadu Buhari was the president of Nigeria, do you know that he gave an order one time that if you get anybody carrying AK-47, shoot them. Shoot them at sight. How many of them have been shot? I can take you, could be now, take you on a drive, let's take the road going towards Abuja. We'll just divert a little bit to part of those forests. You will see people with AK-47. You will see bandits. You will see the so-called herdsmen carrying AK-47. Security men will even be seeing them. Have they shot at any? Did you hear that they shoot anybody? In fact, sometimes they will carry AK-47 and pass in front of this our security forces, and they will not even respond. So it is that an order has not been given, or it is that our security forces don't really want to see an end to banditry, to kidnapping, to the death of innocent Nigerians. You wonder why is it that it took more than 30 distress calls here on the plateau in Mangubokos areas for the military to respond. And even when they were responding, they said, we don't even understand the terrain. And we don't even know, and they have been here for years. You don't still understand the terrain. Now, in Zamfara state, what are the security forces doing? Don't they know Maradonuka government area? Don't they know where the terrorists are staying? The challenge is that we know the exact location of these terrorists. Why is it that we are not neutralizing them? Why is it that we are not using our drones to bomb them, to destroy them, or go and face them in combat and neutralize them? We know where they're located. It's not as if they're somewhere in Jupiter, in space, in Mars, in Mercury, or somewhere. We know the exact location of these terrorists. Even the ones that just kidnapped now in Zamfara. We know where they're located. Are the security forces going to tell us that they don't know their location? But why is it that they are not interested in engaging them in battle and neutralizing them? Beats my imagination. They will always talk about, maybe there will be some collateral damage, there will be this. Has there been any more collateral damage than the one the military have inflicted on the people of this country, bombing innocent people, killing them in their hundreds? What more collateral damage is more than that? And they will always use one form of flimsy excuse or the other not to engage these kidnappers, these terrorists. If you are even afraid of collateral damage, why don't you have early warning signs? Why don't you use those early warning signals and engage these terrorists and neutralize them? Okay. As we're talking right now, there is peace, relatively, for a few days now on the plateau. We know where the terrorists are hiding. But the military and the other security forces, are they doing anything? They're relaxed. They're waiting for another attack. We know I can take them to where these kidnappers, these terrorists are staying. And they themselves, they know it. Why are they relaxed? Why are they moving around with armor tanks within the city? Why are they playing a snooker in their barracks or engaging in one thing or the other, whiling away time, wasting time when innocent Nigerians are dying? Why won't they be on the proactive, level? Why won't they go engage these terrorists, attack them? We know their location. This is the time to engage them before they even carry out any new attack. Go attack them, neutralize them, but you're waiting until they kidnap some people.
Okay, Prof.
That's the unfortunate thing.
Prof, there are too many things to this because you would always, again, have to look at the political will. So everything politics is involved. But then, since we just mentioned politics, even in this issue, let's just go to Barrister and hear a little about what we have in terms of politics.
Just before we touch on the angle of politics, security is everything.
Yes.
Security is the primary essence of governance, not only in Nigeria, all over the world. And that principle is also well enshrined in the 1999 Constitution as amended. Be that as it may, after the emergence of the Boko Haram in 2009, very unfortunately, the security agencies have been adopting the same formula: go to cities, form roadblocks, form camps. They don't launch attack on these people. They only wait. They go and form. In fact, before they used to form what media houses call micro camps, and when they form those micro camps, they sit in those micro camps, wait for the terrorists to attack them, and then the terrorists will retreat back. After the terrorists retreat back, then they will come and then still form another camp, and the terrorists are playing the role of the attacking, while the terrorists are on the side of the offensive, while our security are always on the defensive side. It was when Ehejirika came, and then he changed the narrative. The terrorists that at that time we are hitherto considered metaphysical, invisible. So many names, they were called so many names. In fact, some people even believe that they were using charms to disappear. But when Ehejirika became the chief of army staff, he rooted them out and then demystified them to the extent that they ran to Goza Mountains. When they were hiding in Goza Mountains, Ehejirika mobilized the forces to go and confront them in Goza Mountains. That was the climax of politicizing the issue of the Boko Haram. Late retired General Mamman Shua and the likes and other elders of Borno started mounting pressure, threatening the regime of Goodluck Jonathan that they are going to sue them, they will take them to international court. All sorts of conferences, youth were coming up. So the whole thing was politicized. And unfortunately, the same General Shua was killed by the same terrorists. They came to his house, pretended, because he had a mosque in the front of his house, so they came pretended as if they want to pray in the mosque. As they entered, they did their ablution. Unfortunately for him, they were targeting him, and that was how they shot General Shua, a very handsome general in the Nigerian army who did very well for this country, and that was how this miscreant killed him. So you can see and since even after that, the whole thing was being politicized. Everything about the Boko Haram has been politicized. If not, we wouldn't be where we are. And unfortunately, also, you can see the bandit issue. It is still politicization of the Boko Haram that led to a situation where the victims of Boko Haram are wallowing in IDP camps. Some are in Cameroon suffering. Some are in Chad suffering. Some are in Niger suffering. And then while the Boko Haram are here being pampered, being trained, being all these things is politicization of the insecurity. So you say you are rehabilitating them to the extent that some of them were even recruited into the forces. So you can see how the politicization of the whole issue has emboldened it, and it has become a terrible thing. Now, if you also look at it in the other way around, you can they are not. You can hardly see a situation because of that politicization of the issue of Boko Haram.
Yes.
You can hardly see where Boko Haram has been convicted by any court in Nigeria.
All right, Barrister, you continue just around this place when we come back from this break. Our viewer and listener, it's Unity Train. We'll go on a short break time, and then when we come back, it's going to be interesting again. Please stay tuned.
Mr. Politician, it's good to see you again. It's been so long since you've been here. You had me thinking you were dead. How's your taxpayer mansion? How was your
Unity? Unity TV. Get ready to be entertained and inspired by the incredible stories around the globe. Don't miss out on the excitement. Hello at Work is an ultimate TV program that brings to you the interesting stories and daily happenings worldwide. Join us Mondays and Thursdays 10 a.m. as we dive into the daily happenings and stories. Tune in and stay. Say hello to the world as you bring in your ideas, as it is a perfect blend of entertainment and information. Get ready to stay up to date while being entertained.
Mr. Politician, it's good to see you again. It's been so long since you've been here.
All right, thank you so much for staying tuned with us on Unity 93.3 FM. It's Thursday, the 9th day in the month of May, the year 2024. But in case you're just tuning on, it's Unity 93.3 FM in Unity TV. We're reaching you live from the hills of ZINARIYA here in Jos North Plateau State, Nigeria. In the studio to my left, it has been Professor Pavena H. Barmeyi, and to my right is Barrister Paul Zaruma. Before we went on that break, Barrister Paul was just taking us on a fantastic ride, and he'll pick it up from there. But before then, we are streaming live on Facebook. I would love that you get to connect with us and drop your comments, like and share. That would be wonderful. Contribute, be part of those who make things happen, rather than being, those who watch things happen. At Unity Radio FM/TV Jos. That's it. And for text messages, 0808-478-9999. The text message line again, 0808-478-9999. Send in your message. I'll get to read them too when the time comes. And now back to Barrister Paul Zaruma, just from where you start.
Yes, then still on the issue of politicization of insecurity in Nigeria. It was during the regime of during the regime of Yar'Adua that Mohammed Yusuf was killed, and at that time it was Sarki Mutak that was the NSA. They knew the impending danger that Boko Haram is likely to pose, but still in the process of that politicization, that they mounted pressure on them. They made the government, the politicization made Boko Haram to seem as if they are the victim, while the government are the oppressors. Now, when it comes to the regime of Goodluck Jonathan, the same trajectory continued to the extent that Goodluck Jonathan was pressurized to sack the then NSA General Azazi, and then the tenure of Hajarku was short-circuited. Then, after that, the Boko Haram were emboldened. They got emboldened in that mountain because they were not attacked. And when they got emboldened, they got more weapons. Because when the pressure was so intense on the government that the government has now shifted its attention towards justification and defending its actions, while the Boko Harams were concurrently on the other side getting themselves more weapons. The security intelligence were not focusing on them. And then at the time they got more weapons, they started conscripting innocent people. They will go to villages, hijack the youths, conscript them into their security, and that was how Boko Haram became an uncontrollable force. And then, in the process of time again, if you fast track to what we are having today, you will see a situation whereby Boko Haram, people know that they are either in Sambisa, people know that they are either in Pulka, people know they are either in Baga, people know they are in different places, and the military will not launch an attack on them. And then again, that politicization led to the extent that it has become a venture to some military officers. Some of them became super rich as a result of these activities of Boko Haram. So you can see how they keep on managing this thing with kid gloves, to the extent that it has metamorphosis, it has deteriorated to where we are today. And then now Boko Haram is gradually giving birth to bandits. So pocket of them are forming their own camps. And then from Boko Haram, we have different splinter groups, ISWAP, and so on and so on. And ISWAP also is having some micro groups.
Again.
You know, by the time you become experienced, you want to become your own Oga, you want to head, because they have so many amirs, they have so many leaders. So those leaders will just decide to change their own tactics, change their name, change their approach. And that is where we found ourselves. You know, and another interesting aspect of the politicization of Boko Haram is that when America were in 2010, when America were suggesting that Boko Haram should be made a terrorist group, so many Nigerian allies. In fact, one of the prominent speakers that time was the former Senate President David Mark. David Mark was like, Boko Haram shouldn't be tagged a terrorist organization. And so many people came from all over the country and were saying, no, Boko Haram shouldn't be tagged a terrorist organization. And before you know it, we sleepwalk into where we are today.
And all of these people, where are they today? So what is their opinion today? So what is their position today? Because what they did then, the impact is here for us, all of us suffering it. So
you know, it is quite unfortunate. Just like Prof rightly pointed out, what is happening to this man from Zamfara. The same thing happened to Alex Bade. Alex Bade was the chief of air staff, and then the terrorists went and attacked his village. And the unfortunate thing of what happened that time, he sent a military chopper. Instead of them to repel the attack, the military chopper only carried his family, friends, close relation, and then whisked them away. Do you know the implication? Other people should die. And that is the general mentality in our security.
So, but when such is politicized, like we are saying, now it gives you room to want to, okay, you cannot stay or leave your entire family or relations to be killed. And so why not save one or two instead? Because
now,
with politics...
Now, unfortunately, even despite that, what he did to his family, the Boko Haram hijacked the Bade town, and then they converted his family house to become their command center. They stayed in that family house for 2 weeks, using it as their command center. So you can see that, you know, once you are in place of leadership, the general interest of the country should be at the forefront. But when you begin to narrow it to yourself, that is where we have some of the problems that we're having. So you can see that when we're talking about, you know, when you see that, I said the other day that how come that the military are always winning the propaganda but they are not winning the war. What do I mean by winning the propaganda? They will tell you they have killed 200 bandits, but every day the bandits are getting emboldened. That is mere propaganda. Where are the dead bodies? Where are the mass graves? Where are the evidence? Where are the weapons? Where are the machines that we normally see on social media? Where are they? You are telling us we kill 500, you kill 700, you kill 800. We don't see any evidence. Even journalists, journalists cannot even point at any evidence. So you can see the politicization. So they keep on giving false hope. We are in charge. This will not repeat itself again. All these things are politicization.
So it's very hard to have an independent journalist or even from some private organizations to want to volunteer.
Mostly when you have independent journalists like Sarka, like many of them, if you list them, the list is endless. You know, you see that the military, the DSS, the NSA, they will go after those journalists because they will consider as if those journalists are embarrassing the military. And in most cases, they will tag those journalists as they will tag them as terrorist sympathizers. And before you know it, so some of them we know so many of them went on exile. Because they were terrorist sympathizers.
Now journalists are also are not
so
left
it
in
is
all of this.
very difficult for you to make an independent journalist report. There is this journalist, his name has skipped my mind, that he used to report. He was the person that used to report everything about Shekau. In fact, when the military alleged that they killed Shekau, he will come and tell the world that Shekau is still alive. And it will turn out that, yeah, Shekau is alive. So he was in fact, he reported the death of Shekau from exile.
Wow.
Yes. So you can So you can see that even if you look at some advanced countries, even if you are suspecting such people to have some alliance with Boko Haram, you can use them and underpin them without their knowledge, and through them you'll be getting information.
Absolutely.
Yes. There is this popular pastor. this man from Maiduguri. You know, I will remember his name before the end of this program. He used to be my client. There was a time DSS invited him on some classified information he was revealing about Boko Haram. I sat down with him. I said, Pastor, how did you used to get this information? He said he established relationship with Shekau long before the emergence of Boko Haram. And then he will, you know, I said Shekau, Muhammad Yusuf. And before the demise of Muhammad Yusuf now met him and then told Shekau that, look, this man is my confidant. So even no matter what, trust him. He said he used to go to Boko Haram. They will tell him where he will stay. They will cover his face. They will put him in a car. They will take him to their camp or mask him, and then they will do everything. They will have discussion and whatever. There was a time DSS in 2015 DSS invited him to Abuja. We went to DSS office with him. So these are people, you know, government were mounting pressure on him instead of government to befriend him and, you know, and then find a way of getting some valuable information.
Really this must be
you know, there is this woman, this Igbo woman called Mama Boko Haram. She also have classified information about Boko Haram. But are the government utilizing it? No. Why? Because of the issue of politicization of Boko Haram.
So here you have the issue of whether government is willing to bring an end to this or not again. You know. And lives are being lost
even
every day.
Sheikh Gumi is another factor.
Yes.
Government can mount intelligence around Sheikh Gumi, monitor his calls, monitor so many things about him, monitor his moves, and that will help government get a lot of information about the activities of this bandit. But what is happening to Sheikh Gumi now? A lot of pressure on him. So you can see this is where politicization of insecurity take us to, and it's not going to help us. It has not yielded any result, and it will not yield any result.
As long as we keep politicizing, we're going nowhere. Look, Sheikh Gumi said that he's even willing. He can take security forces to the terrorists and discuss with them. Of course, he wants a negotiation, some sort of negotiation agreement, some compensation and other things. But he's willing because he goes there and he meets with these terrorists. These terrorists are not spirits.
Like this Mama Boko Haram.
Yes.
She said how she was able to establish a relationship with the Boko Haram when she was selling restaurant in Maiduguri. You know, the remnant of food, they were almajiris, they will come and she'll be giving them the remnant of food. And it got to a point that she said, why must they be eating only remnant of food? Then she will now, I said remnant, leftovers. So, you know, she now got to a point and said, okay, why will they continue to be eating leftovers? So she now, whenever she have remnant, she will now keep it for them, warm it and give them. And that was how she was able to establish relationship. She said she knew Sheikh right from when he was a child.
You
and you know, that was where they established the relationship. You know, when you listen to such interviews, you begin to see that, okay, the intelligence committee can utilize these people and achieve certain objective for the general interest of Nigeria. But because everything has been politicized, some people want the war to continue so that they will be buying weapons. They have companies that they are connected to those companies when they buy, and then again, you know, the Nigerian factor, the corruption factor. If you want to go, if they want to buy weapons, you know, the contractor, you know, the person who engages the contractor, some benefits from, some people have benefit from those contracts, and that's why some people want this to continue, and then it's gradually eating up the country, and that's not a good direction that we should go as a country. So you can see that this country is such that if we avoid this politicization of security, when you hear people, military giving excuses that terrain is what terrain is, you know, you cannot. You know, we have special forces. So what is the essence of the special forces? You know, And then, if for instance, if military are going for maybe to Sudan, what they normally take them, they look at a state in Nigeria who have similar weather with Sudan, and they will go there and do some grilling for them there, so that for them to acclimatize to that weather even before arriving. So you cannot tell me that there is any territory in Nigeria. NDA for Christ's sake, NDA have a base in Plateau State here. So Plateau weather is not at all new to the military. And then apart from NDA, even the recruits, they have a base at Shirye Hills. So you cannot say that Plateau terrain is a strange terrain to you. These are all angles of politicization of security, which is not happening.
So you have the military in fix, because if at any point they would want to do, which of course I believe they are ever ready to do, but it's the willingness that it has been politicized. And politically you have people standing side by side, opposite and then against each other. So if the military, it seems to be in a fix, what to do and what not to do.
Yeah, that's why I said it on this platform before, that just give me 1 or 2 months to command the military in Nigeria. You will not be
Sorry,
here.
before Prof we continue. Sorry, Prof, before you continue, I just remember the name of the pastor, Pastor Kalamudikwa.
All right.
Yes, if you Google Pastor Kalamudikwa, he has been on the forefront of security issues in Nigeria.
Right.
So Prof can continue.
If you want to eliminate the terrorists, it's very easy. Something that has been done in other parts of the world is not rocket science. Some people say, oh, look at America has been fighting Taliban and the rest of them for many years, so it's the excuse our military give why they are not performing. I said, those terrorists, you said America are fighting them. Are they in America? America is fighting terrorists outside her territory. It took America about 10 years to get Osama bin Laden, but didn't they get him? They mounted pressure, concerted efforts. They went into research. They used DNA. They did all manner of things when Osama bin Laden's whereabouts were not known. And they were able to trace that he's not even far away, that he's just in neighboring Pakistan. And they were able to locate the house where he was staying. And when they had gotten credible intelligence, they decided to launch an attack unannounced. They did not even tell the Pakistani government. They went and they eliminated Osama bin Laden. But you see, our own military, they will make a lot of noise and tell the terrorists, who will do this, who will do that, and the terrorists will just prepare and wait for them. Because when you are revealing your own secrets, you go on air and you tell the terrorists, and this is what you will do. Oh, we are rebuilding the army, we are recruiting more people into the army, we are getting 4 military choppers from here, we are doing this. You are revealing all your secrets to your enemies. And those terrorists are going to be prepared for you. They don't know how to even hide information. Because, when you are fighting a war, there are certain things you don't go and tell your enemy. You don't allow the enemy to know your strength and your weaknesses. It is only a few nations, maybe like America, because they can bulldoze any nation on earth. They're the ones that can tell you that they will attack you, they will tell you when, they will tell you the time, they will tell you how, and there is nothing you can do about it because they are the world power. But we are not yet the world power, and yet you go on air and you say you're going to do A, B, C, you're going to do this, you're going to do that, and you're telling all these bandits and terrorists all your secrets. At the end of the day, when you come to attack, they're already ready. That is why they have been able to sack military bases. They have been able to kidnap soldiers. They have been able to waste the lives of soldiers. They have been able to, even in the past, take over military barracks. Yes. Because our soldiers are not thinking scientifically. When you're fighting a war like this, and you're doing the same thing you've been doing, and you're expecting to get a different result, of course, you will never get the different result you're expecting, but you still keep doing the same thing. Instead of going into research and say, look, let's do something new. Do you know that if there is an attack today in the city of Jos, I will tell you the way the military will react. I will tell you exactly what they will do, A, B, C. They are predictable. You can always predict them. You can always predict them. The military needs to come up with strategies that are unpredictable. They need to take these terrorists by surprise. They need to take the battle to the gates of these terrorists. And that is why we've been saying on this platform, please, this is the time to reach out. This is the time to launch attacks against these terrorists in the hideouts before they begin any other attack on the plateau, for example, and in other parts of the country that are relatively calm. This is the time to chase them to the ends of the earth. And you don't stop. I keep repeating this. The mistake the military is always making is that when they go out on counter-attack, they'll go and stop and come back. What have you achieved? You're not supposed to stop and come back. When you've not gotten victory, when you've not neutralized your enemies, when you've not destroyed the terrorists, you're coming back to tell us what have you done? That is always the mistake. I can tell you today, if there is an attack in Mango or Boko, say anywhere, the military will go there, chase away the attackers, they will return back again. Instead of following them, follow them even if they go to the ends of the earth, follow them there. Follow them and neutralize them. If you don't do that, you can be sure that they are going to come back. They will keep coming back.
Recently, I received a phone call. One of our listeners decided to call me after a program, and he said he perceived that there was recently some attempts to kidnap somewhere around Hawaii, just recently, but this week even. And then this is for us on the plateau. And if these things gradually they are coming home, coming into cities, and you don't get to hear some of these things. And in fact, a lot of such incidents, you don't get to hear them reported by any media organizations. And nobody talk about it. And then it continues. Again, we said it has been politicized. If it has been politicized, like you have established, of course, Prof and Barrister. Now, don't you think the military, we have said it, that they're in a fix. Which should they do, which should they not do? Because at some point, I feel, don't you think that we should give amnesty to any politicians by any means have already been involved in this? Come out now and say, I have been involved. And so it ends here. From now, after now, I will not be involved again. I think these are some of the reasons why you find it difficult to have a full-fledged support for the military to go ahead and do what they ought to do.
You see, this is why we need leadership. Unfortunately, we've not had good, fantastic political leaders in this country. Because if we've had the kind of leaders that they have in other parts of the world, the military would have been sitting up. The military would have been meeting expectations. The military would have been sanitized. You appoint a chief of army staff, you appoint the chief of defense staff, other service chiefs. Within 3 months, they are not performing. Why are you still keeping them there? Fire them. Fire them and put somebody else. If those ones don't perform, fire them. Look at Ukraine. Ukraine will have been gone. The president took a decisive stand. He has been firing military commanders since the war started. He will fire this one, replace this one, remove that one, replace that one. I mean, a president, a wartime president. We need to learn from him. He goes to the war front. He goes there to see what they're doing. He goes back to reassure the soldiers, gives them all necessary cooperation and help that they need. How many times have our political leaders done that? When was the last time you saw His Excellency Bola Ahmed Tinubu at the battlefront? When was the last time he visited the military to reassure them? When was the last time he even took any decisive step? Since he appointed the service chiefs, has he replaced them? Are they performing? It's almost 1 year in office, and these people have underperformed or not even performed at all, but they're still keeping their offices. They have not been removed. And they don't even have, that integrity, that moral integrity to say that they're resigning, that they're stepping aside. They don't even have it. Do you know in one of those countries, just because there was just a slight, small attack, the military chief resigned from office. But here in Nigeria, do people resign? They don't. And do our political leaders remove them from office? They don't. They just leave them there. Why? Because they go in with this attitude. It is our own time. It is our turn. It is our turn to eat the money of Nigeria. It is our turn to be known that I'm the service chief. It is our turn to begin to command and do other things. But they forget that they're supposed to be there to serve Nigerians. And our political leaders seem to forget that the welfare and security of Nigerians is the primary responsibility, the primary duty of government. But they go in there and they feel that to be in office is just to travel to Washington, go to Riyadh, Dubai, travel around the world and have the paraphernalia of office and be issuing contracts and doing other things. They feel that is what it takes to, to be a leader instead of service to the people. Do you know that the Constitution, after saying in section 14, that the primary role of government is security and welfare of the people, in section 16 the same constitution says that the government is supposed to ensure the happiness of Nigerians. But is the government doing that? The average Nigerian is not happy. The average Nigerian is crying, is weeping, is mourning, is even regretting being a Nigerian. And yet we have political leaders that are very indecisive, political leaders that cannot take hard decisions. When General Sani Abacha was in power, I may have a lot of differences and things I don't like about him, but one thing I like about General Sani Abacha was that the man was decisive. You dare not misbehave, he will tell you you'll be dealt with decisively, and he means it. He's not just saying it, it's not a threat. Just misbehave, you'll be dealt with decisively. Did you see Boko Haram during that time? Were there bandits and kidnappers? Did you see insecurity all over the country? Was there any insecurity? The only problem we had that time was people, protesting against the draconian style of government that he had, but he secured the country. Those are the kind of leaders we need, in terms of leaders who can take hard decisions, leaders who can ensure that the right thing is done, leaders who can say something and they will mean it. When Muhammadu Buhari was president, all the years he was president, he kept giving orders. Was anybody obeying? Now His Excellency Bola Ahmed Tinubu is giving orders. Is anybody obeying? Are the military obeying? Are the police force obeying? Is security being enhanced in the country? Is anything being done? Lives are not secured. Nigerians cannot sleep with their two eyes closed. Nigerians cannot travel and feel safe in their own country. Nigerians feel more secured in Niger Republic, in Cameroon, in other countries than they feel in their own country, Nigeria. And yet we have leaders who are sitting down and they're telling us that they are our political leaders. Okay. They're telling us that, we understand what you are passing through, Nigerians. We're going to, do something. We're going to attend to your problems, and all that. But it's just lip service that we've been hearing now for more than 60 years of independence. Our political leaders just keep talking and talking, and they talk and talk, and they do nothing.
Prof, thank you so much. Barrister, thank you so much. Our viewer and listener, it's time for a short break again. And after this time, when we come back, it's going to be all of your time. So please stay tuned. We'll be right back.
You had me thinking you were dead. How's your taxpayer mansion? How was your...
Are you bored and need some company? Get a TV experience like no other on Unity TV. We are turning up the hits with captivating TV shows, electrifying political programs, music, movies, and lots more that will leave you craving. I'm sure you want to know more. Tune in to Unity TV today and let the excitement take over.
The Financial Services Regulation Coordinating Committee, FSRCC, in collaboration with the National Broadcasting Commission, NBC, wishes to draw the attention of the public to the worrisome increase in the activities of illegal financial operators, IFOs, which threaten public trust and the stability of the Nigerian financial system. The FSRCC and NBC hereby advises the general public to refrain from dealing with unlicensed financial operators who deceive individuals with unrealistically high investment returns. Make sure to verify the licensing status of such companies and schemes on this website. To report any suspicions of illicit financial activities, call 0700 225 5226, 0800 225 5226, or +234 817 665 6273. Let's work together to uphold the integrity of Nigeria's financial system. Announcer, FSRCC.
Mr. Politician, it's good to see you again. It's been so long since you've been here.
For staying tuned with us on this very wonderful dial, Unity 93.3 FM, Unity TV, the voice of reason from the hills of ZINARIYA in Jos Plateau State, Nigeria, the home of peace and tourism. It has been Professor Pavena H. Bamayi in the studio to my left, and to my right, Barrister Paul Saruma. And this is the last 30 minutes of the program, and it's all yours, our listener and viewer, just in case you want to be a part of it, which of course I would appreciate if you choose to be a part of this conversation. Instead of just being there and watch things happen, why not make a decision to be part of those who make things happen? Okay, that's what we ought to do. You have to be part of governance. And so the platform is here for you, 070-3235-3315. Just any issue in 1 minute, your name, location, and your submissions. Try as much as possible to do just that. Hello, good morning.
Good morning once again.
Thank you for calling.
Professor and the director in the house, good morning.
You're welcome.
This is a good start for integration.
Jude Sad, Honorable, you're welcome.
Thank you very much. You are doing a wonderful job, and Professor and the barrister are fantastic to the society.
Thank you. We appreciate.
What I have this morning, I have 3 things to discuss under 1 minute.
Please go on.
One, issue of family. Let us respect the rule of law.
All right.
Law means anybody that is above the law.
Yes.
Law that will make the state work, that will make sure there is no any state tolerate any in the state.
All right.
That's it. One, because of what happened yesterday, they nearly killed some of the security men that went to put it in order at animal market. I was here, I read yesterday live.
All right.
I even run for my life.
Okay.
And again, a proper area where I reside,
Yes.
even DD and sanitation people detailed their research.
All right.
2 days ago, to make sure that they did not destroy the road, the road that the government did to the Apata people.
Okay.
And channeling tonnage in the gutter. It can cause cholera.
Mm.
So, and anybody that they catch on that thing with it, we take a penalty.
All right.
On a security issue, please, the basic administration promise us to guide our lives. If Shibuni will be told to ask about what is happening about insecurity,
All right. Thank you.
maybe call him, and at least maybe work together to make sure that Nigeria and
Mr. Judsat, thank you so much, Mr. Judsat. A lot of text messages here. This one say good mornings to all, best wishes, plan honestly, and you will reap trust, plant goodness, you will reap friends, plant humanity, and you will reap greatness. Doing good is part of challenges of life. It brings pain, envy, and others negative moods, but it ultimately gives the best reward. I sincerely appreciate Honorable Caleb Manasseh Mutfang. Okay, Hassan Gabra. Thank you, Hassan Gabra, for this text message. Hello, good morning.
Hello.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Thank you. Your name?
Comrade Mohammed Sali.
Comrade Mohammed, you have a minute. Go on, please.
Is that Kubi?
Yes, you're live on Unity 93.3 FM.
Yeah, Kubi Kobe, how are you? Long time.
Fine, no problem. Give it to God.
Greetings to Barrister Paul, who is a friend to my good friend, Johanna.
It's all right then. Thank you.
What I want to tell you that the celebration of these people in that studio is very, very nice, and that is the correct thing to do.
Thank you so much for encouraging us.
But there is one thing that is happening in this country.
All right.
Are you understanding?
Okay.
I'm the chairman of Arewa Consultative Forum Security Committee.
All right.
Because of the actions I have been taking on this insecurity in this country, they have bullet my car. They have told me to collect 1 billion naira, or I should stop the action I am taking. Are you getting it?
Yes.
The people terrorizing this country, the people masterminding the insecurity in this country, most of us know them.
Okay.
But they are untouchable. Some of them, their helicopters go around, supply arms and ammunition to these people.
Okay.
There is one question I want to need to guess with. What is taking Tinubu to France now? As the whole equipment used is killing our people are being supplied from France. Why is it that Tinubu now makes France its own home?
How certain are
after
you?
his election?
How certain is that?
That means the mafia have masterminded Tinubu among the deals to make him become president, that he should be going to France and taking money.
Caller, sorry, we
intelligent officers
sorry.
to supply arms and ammunition to Chad and Cameroon.
We wouldn't have you say that against a country, okay? If you have what it takes, that is, how certain are you? What evidence do you have against the nation?
You said what?
All right, sorry, we won't let that to continue because
this is very sensitive and
yes, and so we wouldn't love to have anyone to.
I think
please.
it will be very important.
And he says he's even a chairman security committee of Arewa Consultative.
Yes,
it's a big group.
Very big group.
So, hello, good morning.
They should collaborate with the security.
Hello, good morning.
Hello.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Thank you. All right, 07032353315 is the studio line. So very quickly, I have a lot here.
Let's
I have a lot here.
Make a comment about the terminus issue of yesterday. I think that the security agencies should go there in their numbers and arrest those miscreants. Those miscreants will have killed people yesterday. You heard Jude Sat said he had to run for his life.
Yes.
Even the security forces had to escape. They had to run yesterday. It was rowdy. It was a commotion, a pandemonium. So we still have these kind of bad elements within the society. Let's create space for them in the just correctional facility. Let them be arrested and taken.
Okay. All right. Thank you. Let's have this caller. Thank you, Prof, for that. Hello. Good morning. Good morning.
Thank you very much. I agree with you to the studio and the Barrister Zaruma.
Okay. You have a minute. Thank you so much for calling.
What I want to say is first, just about terminus market.
All right.
I just want to say this. When Baba Jang was in power, I think he stopped motorcycles. And people like us were able to stop driving bikes. So this got the place to be. Because the bike open our eyes to really forward. I was able to finish education. Please, let people obey the government.
All right.
We cannot be more than the government.
Thank you.
Then on the other hand, please, Mr. Kudu, I want to speak on this issue of security. I think the president needs to speak here on the issue of this national security other than this cyber security. Because our leaders don't listen to Nigerians to continue to struggle while Nigerians are not even sleep and close their eyes. Imagine the rest too, declaring that kidnapping is good and worsening insecurity. But nothing is being done. All we hear is just hearing that they condemn creating more IDPs in a country that has leaders. Please, our leaders must stand up and do the needful.
Thank you.
And see what happened in Ogo, where police were able to treat these kidnappers and were able to rescue and repatriate and recover them from 5 million. I think if they were able to empower our police, they can do more.
Thank you very much.
We ought to see things go for good.
Thank you so much.
Are really going through a lot.
right, this one say good morning, Kubi, and our amiable guest in the house. I want to especially appreciate you, Prof, for always giving us the food for thought every morning at the beginning of the programs, and unbiased analyst as barrister. May God Almighty bless you all for this just free of charge. Wallahi, Prof, you've been a great inspiration to me. Anas Larento, thank you, Anas Larento. And this one says, good morning, Unity FM, Cool B, Prof B, and Barrister Zaruma. You people are doing a wonderful job. Keep it up. I have a question. This terrorist bandit, invisible, are they invisible? Secondly, is everybody's business, and sometimes say it's something. Okay, when you see something, say something. May God help my big love country, Nigeria. Daniel Adam Deladi. Thank you, Daniel Adam. And this one says, okay, this one is lengthy, but of course, I owe you. Good morning, Kobe, and our amiable, consistent, and passionate analyst, Professor Bamayi and Barrister Zaruma. Kudos for the wonderful and objective analysis. How I wish government listens to your analysis. The problems of security and other vices would have been taken care of. Honestly, our government is just being careless and nonchalant about the growing insecurity in the country. They would have given these bandits the bloody nose they deserve. Where is the strong Nigerian army that used to go to other countries to keep peace? How about our leaders who don't just care because they have security all around them? Let me assure them that if something is not done now, we would all be consumed someday. Peace is priceless. Let's live in peace. God bless Unity FM. Christy Izang from Lukubarod. Good morning, Kubi, Professor and the Barrister. Zaruma, really, you speak the truth. We war against terrorism was politicized. That is where we are because of the very few people wishing brands and giving the heavy weapons on. They have the support not to be neutralized. Now, millions of people were killed and some millions are destitute. Thank you at Ismail Isa. Just thank you, Ismail Isa. Another text message here says, Bulus Esther Uhoman and Farangada. Good morning, Zakubi and the Professor, the Barrister. God bless you both for educating us and the general public free of charge. We pray for better Nigeria of our dream. Thank you, Esther. And good morning. Policies of Plateau State government is okay to thrive. Okay, I think this one is not, I'm not getting this one too well. Allah forgive our major and minor sins, wipe away our tears, lead and guide us to the right path. May we always be with the rightful people who will give us good advices, counsels, and reminder to every sensible human being. Let's be mindful of God. If God turns his back on us, who will help or assist us? Hassan Garba. Thank you, Hassan Garba. And we take but few. Hello, good morning.
Good morning, Mr. Kuri.
Thank you for joining us.
Thank you. My name is Azutela. I'm calling from Congo.
It's been a while, Azutelo. Go on in a minute.
Then good morning to the top in the
Good morning.
Good morning.
God bless you.
Thank you.
Very nice job.
In a minute, let's have you.
Insecurity, honestly, is something that we are not take it for granted. Understand? And then this thing that happened coming up yesterday, this thing that is security, they have to take it very urgent so that happen to me. This thing that we see, I don't know if you to another way that take it after all, more easy to control.
All right.
Okay. Let them take it very serious so that something problem, so that we will not take it to another way, so that we will not disturb.
All right.
That we are,
Thank you.
then I pray that God will help us.
Thank you. Thank you so much. And this one is coming from Shehu Usman on Facebook. He's saying, good morning, Unity FM. And Favor Estable say, great work out there. Thank you, Favor. And Sadiq Idris Usman, my very own friend of Sadi Photography, he's saying, good morning, sir. We appreciate you for that. And another one here is from Abubakar Sadiq Wise. He said, good morning to Beatrice Kubia, the Mo Prof and Barrister. You are doing a wonderful job. God bless you and Unity FM TV. Thank you so much. And this one said, good morning, gentlemen in the studio. Special thanks to Prof. Bame and Barrister Zaruma. Nigeria, our country, we have suffered a lot recently, but we are still living by the grace of God. From Boko Haram to coronavirus to Naira scarcity to banditry to kidnapping and now dollar and fuels crisis. God is moving us to weather all the storms. Amen. Muhammad Tajudin from Narakuda. And I think that's the much I will be able to take on today's edition from the Facebook page. And now, maybe a few more calls, or just one, and then we'll end it up. Hello, good morning.
Hello, good morning.
Thank you. Good morning.
Yeah, thank you very much. My name is Sadiq Umar. I'm coming from Shirye.
Sadiq Umar, thank you. You have a minute. Go on, please.
Yeah, thank you very much. I will comment people in the house. We are doing very well. And actually, I want to make my comment particularly on this family matter.
Yes.
You see, it is very, very unfortunate that is taking us from the people by doing the government the putting its policy of developing the terminal area. You see, after the government have sent people away from the main route, I think it is applied to the government because they are seeing what the government has done. The government has made the place to be very, very modern. And this kind of work is something that the citizens have to even apply for. And the specific approach the government to do that. The government to do development. So the government what happened that the people are not giving the government the cooperation to make sure that they are implementing
all right.
that they have made.
Thank you.
The cooperation to the government. It is going to be the quality of the government. They have not even tried the quality of the government. They are insisting on the road. And they know that the government is not good there. So let them not frustrate the issue. Let them go back to the quality of the market and people will surely patronize them.
Amen. Thank you. Sadiq Umar ended like a prayer.
By making a provision for them. You can imagine some other place the government will not even provide anything. They bulldoze, destroy your shop. Look at what happened in Abuja.
Yes,
the government didn't make any provision.
In Abuja, government will not make any provision for you. Market is a private venture. You go to anywhere else to go and do to get a shop. But here, at least this government have a human face. They have provided an alternative for the market people. I think the market people should comply with the order.
And yet they are becoming more stubborn.
You can see from one of our callers, Mr. Deumi from Bauchi Road, he said he was into a tricycle commercial riding, but then when it was stopped during His Excellency, former Governor of Plateau State, Babajan Senator, he said he had to look elsewhere to make ends meet. Instead of just bordering and then kicking against the policy.
In the middle of difficulty lies opportunity.
I'm sure Adeomi is doing great today.
These guys, I think the state government should show them that they cannot be stronger than the state.
Yes.
These are non-state actors.
Yes.
If we allow them, this is the way cult groups begin. This is the way terrorists begin.
Yes.
Now that they have been able to chase away the security, they will say we are strong. They form themselves into a group and begin to terrorize the community. That's why they need to be nipped in the bud. We need to stop them. Otherwise, they will become very powerful. Before you know it, they will be commanding territories in terminals and environments.
And again, you see how certain that this act was done by traders themselves. They are not those who are hiding under the fact that traders will be chased out of this place and let's just pretend to be traders and fight this fight so that we still can, take charge of the territory.
These are not traders, they're miscreants.
Yes.
The real traders run away.
Will not even do this.
So it's those Ziagberos, or what do you call them, that loiter around, that stop around, that do one thing or the other. They are not the traders. The real traders, even escaped. They were even endangered.
Yes.
These are miscreants carrying stones, throwing there. These idlers that stay around there. That's why we must make an example with them that they cannot be stronger than the state. Non-state actors cannot be stronger than the state. We must not allow them to begin to form gangs and begin to form themselves into maybe some kind of a terrorist association, some kind of group that will be causing mayhem in the community. This is the way terrorist groups started. This is the way hip-hop and others started, and they become a problem. So the government must take this serious. Let's stop them now before we begin to have a terrorist organization on the plateau.
All right. Oh, thank you very much. We have just but a few more minutes to go on this. I just want to make it clear, like Adewumi has said, I know it's not only Adewumi. When something is said to be against or not really favorable to you, you have the right to just look elsewhere. You would, of course, in the midst of, like Prof would say, lies opportunity. Of course, and the perfect example. In fact, I want to appreciate his turn-by-turn, plaza for doing the needful. Now, when trucks, normally you would find trucks parked around by the street. When the government said, no, you don't have to park, turn by turn spend a lot to create a space where even at evening or night, when the trucks arrive, they just go in there, not park. People still think and continue to live, compliant to all of these things. And they are making ways. It's happening.
You just need to be creative and innovative.
Instead of fighting the government.
The box. Think of something. You can be more creative, Some of them don't know the where. They think they will be hidden. Somebody will come and go in there to look for them because he needs their service, he needs their products, their goods, and then they will even have big business than even the small 100 naira, 200 they collect by the roadside.
Yes.
And let's appeal to motorists. Please stop patronizing people who sell things by the road.
I think
they're doing something illegal. You're contributing to their illegality. So you're also culpable. You're guilty of their offense. When you're driving, don't stop there. Don't go and park and begin to patronize them. You're moving and don't go and patronize them. Go to the designated places and buy whatever you need. Instead of buying it by the roadside, you are encouraging them to continue in this illegality.
All right, and I think we've come to the end of it. Except if Barrister would love to say bye-bye. Barrister, do you?
Yes, by way of saying bye-bye, we are saying our heart goes with Nigerians who are in IDP camps in Cameroon, in Niger, in Chad, because of the activities of insecurity. We are also, our heart goes with the soldiers, with the DSS, with the police, who are sacrificing those of them who are sincerely sacrificing their lives and the convenience of their families. Our heart also goes to those posthumously who have lost their life as a result of this insurgency. Our heart also goes to those who are presently in captivity of these kidnappers, seeking for one way or the other to escape. Our heart is with you. Lastly, our heart goes to those who were once victims of kidnappers, one way or the other.
All right, and I think we have come to the end of it. Tomorrow, Prof will come and give you your today's bye-bye, please. A listener and viewer, it's time for us to step out of the studio. The crew who made this possible, our GSM Shesadin, engineer Tijani, DJ Paras, everyone, thank you. The My Community broadcast comes your way even after now. So stay tuned and enjoy. Have a good day.
Mr. Politician, it's good to see you again. It's been so long since you've been here. You had me thinking you were dead.